حي على الفلاح.
This surah, Surah al-Ḥāqqah, surah number 69, that it is once again earlier revelation, meaning it focuses heavily on the akhirah. And it's going to paint a vivid picture of what will transpire in the life of the hereafter, the life after death. And of course we all know, we all understand, the first stage of the life after death, the first stage of the akhirah is the day of judgment itself. Resurrection and the day of judgment. And that's where this surah will heavily focus. This might just be one of the most descriptive passages when it comes to the day of judgment and what will exactly transpire with people and how people will be divided into two groups on the day of judgment. This might be one of the most descriptive passages within the entire Quran. And as revelation continues to progress forward, chronologically speaking, the tone begins to get softer and softer, because now it becomes, once a person is completely coherent, in their right mind, willing to listen to what you have to say, then you need to be soft and kind and generous and forgiving with that person in an effort to try to make them understand. You're not trying to antagonize humanity, you are trying to win them over, you're trying to convince them, you're trying to soften their hearts. And so the tone will continue to get softer as we move along. Now we can actually get into the actual text of the surah. So in ayah number 1, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, al-Ḥāqqah. Haqq, we know we translate it as the truth, because the truth is firm, it is established, and it is stable. And what it means here, al-Ḥāqqatu, is it refers to an occasion or an incident. The inevitable incident, or the established occurrence, the event that will happen. And so the listener is now on the edge of his seat, he's waiting for an answer. Okay, what are you going to tell me about this event? And the next ayah says, mal-Ḥāqqatu. This ma is for asking a question. It means, what is this inevitable event? What is this event that's going to happen? All that does is further create even more curiosity. And the third ayah then says, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْحَاقَّةُ. And what will inform you? What will give you information? What will give you some idea about that which is the inevitable event? In all three ayat, the first three layers of this surah, the first three ayat of this surah, continue to create more and more curiosity and more of a sense of urgency of getting this answer. And so now you get more people's attention. Now everybody's listening. And the people that were already listening are even more desperate for an answer. كَذَّبَتْ ثَمُودُ وَعَادٌ بِالْقَارِعَةِ. They refused, they rejected, they called it false. Who did this? Thamud and Aad, both of them. These were two nations that had come before. And the mushrikeen of Makkah, the Quraysh, were familiar with them. So what is qari'ah? It refers to when you hit a person, that it makes a sound. And that's what qari'ah refers to, linguistically speaking. In context, in the Quran, qari'ah, just like haqqah, is another name for the Day of Judgment. It will startle people, it will rattle people, it will wake them up. Thamud and Aad, these two nations, they rejected this event, the Day of Judgment. They denied it altogether. It's not going to happen. We don't believe in it. فَأَمَّا ثَمُودُ. As for Thamud, فَأُهْلِكُوا. They were completely destroyed. بِالطَّاغِيَةِ. To cross all limits and boundaries. What is this exactly referring to? It's talked about another place in the Quran that was basically a loud piercing sound beyond their ability to handle this, to be able to tolerate this. That they crossed all limits and all boundaries. The final limit, the last boundary of humanity is what? Shirk. These people even crossed over that limit. Not only crossed over it, but they were arrogant about it, they were stubborn about it, and they went way past that limit. Ayah number 6, وَأَمَّا عَادٌ. The people of Aad. بِرِيحٍ صَرْصَرٍ عَاتِيَةٍ. They were destroyed by means of a rih, a wind. صَرْصَرٍ. It means for something like a wind that is very, very cold. Like it just chills you down to your bone. It's bitter, it hurts. It also refers to like a howling wind. Atiyatin, which means when somebody deals with other people in a very harsh manner because of arrogance. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala further talks about what exactly happened. سَخَّرَهَا عَلَيْهِمْ, Allah made the wind overpower them. سَبْعَ لَيَالٍ, for 7 nights, وَثَمَانِيَةَ أَيَّامٍ, and for 8 days. حُسُومًا literally means to cut something down, meaning they had nothing left. فَتَرَى الْقَوْمِ, you will see the people. These people were unified in their insistence, in their stubbornness, in their rejection of the truth. And that's why look what Allah says, فَتَرَى الْقَوْمَ فِيهَا, and you see the people there in it, in that land or in that place or in that time, صَرْعًا, when people pass out due to sickness, become so sick, become so ill, that they literally just collapse, they pass out. كَأَنَّهُمْ أَعْجَازُ نَخْلٍ خَاوِيَةٍ, it was as if they were a'jaz. A'jaz refers to the roots of date palms. Khawiyah means tossed over. So it was, they looked like they were the trunks and the roots of date palms that had been completely ripped out of the ground and then tossed over. فَهَلْ تَرَى لَهُمْ, so do you see for them مِن بَاقِيَةٍ, any remnants? Do you see anything left? بَاقِيَةٍ, that remains. These people were completely wiped off the face of this earth. Before I go forward, so this ends the discussion on the people of Thamud and the people of Ad. Who does Allah mention next? Fir'aun. So ayah number 9, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَجَاءَ فِرْعَوْنُ وَمَنْ قَبْلَهُ, and those who were before him. وَالْمُؤْتَفِكَاتُ, and the ones who were turned over. And that's talking about the people of Lut. Bil khati'ah. So why were all these people destroyed? Because of al khati'ah. It's referring to a sin. And what was that sin? The refusal, the denial, the rejection of the message.
فَعَصَوْا رَسُولَ رَبِّهِمْ, they disbelieved the messengers of their Lord. فَأَخَذَهُمْ أَخْذَةً رَابِيَةً, so Allah gripped them with a complete and total grip, did not leave any signs behind. إِنَّا لَمَّا تَغَى الْمَاء, and also remember, O human beings, لَمَّا تَغَى الْمَاء, when the water disobeyed the levels. When did it exceed the levels? In the time of Nuh, correct? Until the Sahaba, the scholars of Islam mention that the water was 15 meters higher than the highest thing in our time. This is how much water there was. Ya salam. حَمَلْنَاكُمْ, we carried you, O people, fil jariya, on that ship, لِنَجْعَلَهَا لَكُمْ, so that we may make it تَذْكِرَةً, a reminder, وَتَعِيَهَا أُذُنُ وَاعِيَةً, and that so that it may be preserved and memorized. Wa'iyah meaning the attentive ears. Ya ikhwati, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preserved us. We are from the children of those people that were on that boat, so that we may remember that our forefathers were on that boat. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now talks about what the day of judgment is. That He started off at the beginning of the surah saying al-Haqqah. Now He's going to tell you about what the Haqqah really is. But first, before that, He told you about, don't you dare disbelieve in what I'm going to tell you. What Allah's going to just about to tell you is going to sound unbelievable. And those people who disbelieved in it, this is the fate that they had. So now listen to what they disbelieved in, and ask yourself, are you also going to follow their fate and disbelieve in them as well? So this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us is what will happen on the day of judgment, or the fitna that will take place just before the day of judgment. What is it? فَإِذَا نُفِخَ فِي الصُّورِ نَفْخَةٌ وَاحِدَةٌ. That's it. That's how it starts. How will the day of judgment start? And when it is blown into the horn, sur means the horn, نَفْخَةٌ وَاحِدَةٌ, a single blowing. In the authentic hadith, we know the name of this angel. His name is Israfil. Yeah? We know that Israfil is an angel that never blinks. Why? Because he is afraid that if he were to blink, that at that moment the command would come and he would delay the blowing of the horn. Can you imagine how serious this issue is? In one authentic narration in Bukhari, it is reported that the Prophet ﷺ was asleep. Suddenly he woke up gasping for air. She also suddenly woke up and said, Ya Rasulullah, What's wrong? What's wrong? Be at ease, Ya Rasulullah. And so the Prophet said, Kayfa an'am. And the owner of the horn, which is Israfil, has taken a deep breath. And he has puffed out his cheeks. And he has put the horn to his mouth. And he has raised his eyes looking at Allah, waiting for the moment that Allah gives him the moment to blow the horn. At that night, Israfil was given the command to get ready. How many blowings of the horn will there be? 3 blowings of the horn. First blowing is, everyone will be terrified. The second one, blowing of destruction. At that blowing, even Israfil himself will disintegrate. Nothing will remain except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will recreate Israfil, recreate the horn, and they will blow into it the 3rd time. And with this, ikhwati, will be the 3rd blowing. And with this, Allah will recreate the Day of Judgment, recreate human beings in their graves, and Allah will cause a rain to fall, and then human beings to come out of the earth, starting the Day of Judgment. This is the 3rd blowing. وَحُمِلَتِ الْأَرْضُ وَالْجِبَالُ فَدُكَّتَا دَكَّةً وَاحِدًا. The earth is lifted up, the mountains are lifted up, and they are smashed against each other. فَيَوْمَئِذٍ وَقَعَتِ الْوَاقِعَةِ. On that day, the reality will take place. What is the reality? Reality of what we have been told by all the prophets of God, where we will be judged for all our deeds. فَيَوْمَئِذٍ وَقَعَتِ الْوَاقِعَةِ. On that day now, Allah talks about now the 3rd blowing. And the 3rd blowing, everything is recreated. When we come out of the graves, Rasulullah said, we will be raised up naked, barefooted, uncircumcised. All at the ages that we died at. No one will look at each other because the severity of the test of that day will be far too serious than to even look at each other's private parts. وَانْشَقَّتِ السَّمَاءُ. And the sky will be torn up because of the number of angels that are coming up and down, and they're like light. وَانْشَقَّتِ السَّمَاءُ فَهِيَ يَوْمَئِذٍ وَاهِيَةٌ. Until on that day you will think that the sky is like a simple piece of paper, fragile and frail. وَالْمَلَكُ عَلَىٰ أَرْجَائِهَا. The human beings will wait for 50,000 years. After 50,000 years, what will happen? People will go to all the different prophets. Finally, they will go to Rasulullah sallallahu. Rasulullah will say, yes, I'm the one. So then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will raise up Rasulullah sallallahu. He will prostrate on Maqam Mahmud. And at that point, Allah will teach him how to praise Allah. And then only Allah will listen to Rasulullah sallallahu. And the first thing Rasulullah sallallahu will ask for is, Ya Allah, start the Day of Judgment. At that point, وَالْمَلَكُ عَلَىٰ أَرْجَائِهَا. Suddenly you will see angels descending from the sides of the sky. Meaning, the angels descending. What's happening? Allah is coming. So the sky is full of angels now, floating in the sky. وَيَحْمِلُ عَرْشَ رَبِّكَ فَوْقَهُمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ ثَمَانِيًا. On that day, you will see, holding up the throne of your Lord will be 8 angels. He is established on the throne. You cannot see him yet. He is covered by light. So, ya ikhwati, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now brings us to the judgment. Now the judgment is about to start. So here is Allah in front of you, angels all in front of you. In your right, you can smell Jannah. To your left, you can see Jahannam. Where is so and so? One by one, with our Father's name, we are called out. Who is the first people to be judged? The Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Why? So that if we truly were sincere and we were righteous and we prayed and fasted and did all our obligations, we will go to Jannah first. If we did not do so, then Allah will make us the first example for the rest of humanity. يَوْمَئِذٍ تُعْرَضُونَ لَا تَخْفَى مِنْكُمْ خَافِيَةٌ. On that day, تُعْرَضُونَ, you will all be presented in front of Allah. لَا تَخْفَى مِنْكُمْ خَافِيَةٌ. Not a single secret will be hidden on that day. 7 witnesses will then start to witness. The first witness of the people around you. Number 2, after this, will be the earth. On that day, the earth will speak about its tales. The third are the angels, the malaika, those who wrote down your deeds that are here with us. They are looking at everything. They will witness either for you or against you. Your fourth witness is the Prophet ﷺ, will either witness for you or against you. The fifth witness, ya ikhwati, who is that? Is our book of deeds. They are being collated and put together, and they will all be presented to us on that day. 6 is your body, your eyesight, your hearing will all witness for you or against you. Finally, the final witness is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself. And any of the good deeds that Allah has allowed or will allow to witness on that day for us. The prayer will witness for or against us. The fasting will witness for or against us. The Quran will come as a witness for us or against us. فَأَمَّا مَنْ أُوتِيَ كِتَابَهُ بِيَمِينِهِ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Allah will mention His good deeds, Allah will mention His bad deeds and forgive all of it, and He will mention His good deeds and He will say He accepted it, and He will give His book in His right hand. That's it. Hisab yasir. Ya ikhwati, who are the people who will have a difficult hisab? Anyone who dies rich, because they will not be able to enter for 500 years. Anyone who has harmed a lot of people in this dunya will have a difficult hisab. Anyone who has left this dunya without fulfilling his obligations that are due upon him. Anyone who lives this dunya in this manner will have a difficult hisab. فَأَمَّا مَنْ أُوتِيَ كِتَابَهُ بِيَمِينِهِ. As for the one who has been given his book in his right hand, فَيَقُولُ هَاؤُمُ اقْرَءُوا كِتَابِيَهْ. He'll raise up his book and he will tell his people, oh people, read my book. إِنِّي ظَنَنْتُ أَنِّي مُلَاقٍ حِسَابِيَهْ. I knew that I would on one day meet my hisab. فَهُوَ فِي عِيشَةٍ رَاضِيَةٍ. So he is in the blessed life. فِي جَنَّةٍ عَالِيَةٍ. In the highest of Jannah. قُطُوفُهَا دَانِيَةٍ. In Jannah the trees and its shade are very, very close by. Meaning the tree will actually come and present the fruit in front of you and you can take a bite. And Allah will say, and the angels will say, كُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا هَنِيئًا. Eat and drink and be merry. بِمَا أَسْلَفْتُمْ فِي الْأَيَّامِ الْخَالِيَةِ. For all the struggle that you went through in this dunya. We didn't go through any difficulty. What's wrong with us is that we are not taking a path to Allah Azza wa Jal. This is a wake-up call, time to change. A difficult life in this dunya, not by you doing it to yourself, seeking a path of struggle for the cause of Allah. When that happens, definitely difficulty will come to you very quickly. وَأَمَّا مَنْ أُوتِيَ كِتَابَهُ بِشِمَالِهِ. The one who has been given his book in his left hand. فَيَقُولُ يَا لَيْتَنِي لَمْ أُوتَ كِتَابِهِ. He will say, oh woe to me, how I wish I was never ever given this book. وَلَمْ أَدْرِ مَا حِسَابِيَ. And how I wish I never ever knew what my hisab was. يَا لَيْتَهَا كَانَتِ الْقَاضِيَةِ. Oh how I wish it was my end. What was it? My death. Death is not the end of your life, ya ikhwati. It is just entering into a new life. Reality is we will all live forever. Do you know that, guys? مَا أَغْنَى عَنِّي مَالِيَ. My wealth has not benefited me. هَلَكَ عَنِّي سُلْطَانِيَ. Halaka means destroyed. عَنِّي, from me, sultaniya, my right and my status in this dunya. مَا أَغْنَى عَنِّي مَالِيَ. My wealth hasn't benefited me, my children didn't benefit me, my status didn't benefit me, nothing at all. Whilst he's lamenting in this way, what will be said? خُذُوهُ. Grab him. فَغُلُّوهُ ثُمَّ الْجَحِيمَ صَلُّوهُ. Then take him towards a path towards Jahannam. ثُمَّ فِي سِلْسِلَةٍ ذَرْعُهَا سَبْعُونَ ذِرَاعًا فَاسْلُكُوهُ. Its length 70 yards long. فَاسْلُكُوهُ إِنَّهُ كَانَ لَا يُؤْمِنُ بِاللَّهِ الْعَظِيمِ. Because he never used to believe in Allah the Great. And so as a result he transgressed and he continued to sin. وَلَا يَحُضُّ عَلَى طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ. Nor did he encourage the feeding of the poor. Do you know how many people are hungry today? 1.2 billion people. Of them 780 million are Muslims. Will go to bed hungry today. فَلَيْسَ لَهُ الْيَوْمَ هَاهُنَا حَمِيمٌ. So therefore today there is no friend for him, no hamim, meaning close friend for him today on this day of judgment. وَلَا طَعَامٌ إِلَّا مِنْ غِسْلِينَ. And nothing to eat except ghislin. لَا يَأْكُلُهُ. No one will eat this. إِلَّا الْخَاطِئُونَ. Except the ones who are wrong. Who are the wrongdoers? The sinners, the transgressors, those who didn't pray, didn't fast, those who sin, not caring about Allah the Great. Show that you believe in this with your actions. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَلَا أُقْسِمُ بِمَا تُبْصِرُونَ. So I swear by everything that you can see, O human beings. وَمَا لَا تُبْصِرُونَ. And I swear by everything that you cannot see as well, which is Jannah, Jahannam, jinns, angels. I swear by all of them as well. إِنَّهُ لَقَوْلُ رَسُولٍ كَرِيمٍ. This Quran that is being recited to you is nothing but the statement of our noble messenger. وَمَا هُوَ بِقَوْلِ شَاعِرٍ. This is not the words of a poet. قَلِيلًا مَا تُؤْمِنُونَ. How little it is that you believe. وَلَا بِقَوْلِ كَاهِنٍ. nor is it the words of a soothsayer, magician. قَلِيلًا مَا تَذَكَّرُونَ. How little do you understand? It is nothing but تَنزِيلٌ مِّن رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. It is nothing but a revelation from the Lord of mankind. Allahu Akbar. And then Allah says, وَلَوْ تَقَوَّلَ عَلَيْنَا بَعْدَ الْأَقَاوِيلِ. And if you were to even think that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam or Jibreel alayhi salam had the even audacity to even add one word or subtract one word, to say something that the other person did not say. وَلَوْ تَقَوَّلَ عَلَيَّ بَعْدَ الْأَقَاوِيلِ. A few words only. What will Allah do? لَأَخَذْنَا مِنْهُ بِالْيَمِينِ. I will grab them both by their necks with my right hand. ثُمَّ لَقَطَعْنَا مِنْهُ الْوَتِينَ. And then in front of you all, I will cut off their wateen, carotid artery. Meaning every word that you're getting is purely from Allah Azza wa Jalla. فَمَا مِنْكُم مِّنْ أَحَدٍ عَنْهُ حَاجِزِينَ. And on that day, if that were to happen, no one amongst you could ever hajizin, protect them from me. وَإِنَّهُ لَتَذْكِرَةٌ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Innahu, this Quran is only a reminder for the people of piety. وَإِنَّا لَنَعْلَمُ أَنَّ مِنْكُم مُكَذِّبِينَ. And I know that amongst you are few those who are liars. Those who say that you are muttaqeen, but inside you are actually liars. You still don't believe in what I'm saying. وَإِنَّهُ لَحَسْرَةٌ عَلَى الْكَافِرِينَ. And this Quran will be a regret عَلَى الْكَافِرِينَ. If you read the Quran, you try to understand it, this Quran will say, Ya Rabbi, I kept him up awake, Ya Rabb. Prevent him from Jahannam. وَإِنَّهُ لَحَقُّ الْيَقِينَ. And this is nothing but the manifest truth. Allah has said that this Quran is most definitely from Allah Azza wa Jalla. فَسَبِّحْ بِاسْمِ رَبِّكَ الْعَظِيمِ. So glorify the name of your Lord, the